There's no like crazy presentations here.
Are they going to be able to see the visual aids?
My presentation.
They should be.
What's yours?
Alright.
My presentation tops.
Hello, everyone. Wait a minute.
You need a
Let's put this in the slideshow. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
This is a very important
hello.
presentation, and I think everyone needs to hear it. It's about
Tay.
the necessity of high-speed rail.
Okay.
Well, you can't see the rail, but if we click it a few times, first we'll add that, and we'll hold on. There we go.
Perfect.
Spared no expenses.
There we go. See, it says rail right there.
I see it.
Oh.
I see it.
We'd love to see it.
All right.
Blastoise.
Take a look at this very nice
Last
train.
It's like a hidden Mickey.
Wouldn't you want to be riding around Alberta in this?
That
They
is
can't
very- that
see
is very
it.
nice.
They can. It's screen recorded.
Oh, they can.
You wouldn't get it.
Oh.
All right.
You don't understand.
And now, coming to our next slide. Firstly, why are trains cool? Step one, I like them. I think they are cool, and therefore, since I am a well-respected person, you should have the same opinions as me. Exactly.
It's true.
No mention of the navigator himself.
Secondly, refer to number one.
Okay.
I like them. I think they're really cool. And lastly, look at how fast that train was.
It also
Oh, yeah.
was-
Wouldn't you
That
want
was
to
very-
ride
that
on
was
a train that's really fast?
That was very good.
All right.
We love trains.
Next slide. All right. Where should the trains be? This is the most important question because it is known that there should be trains and there should be high-speed rail. But where should it be? Let's take a look at firstly trains currently in existence and compare that to other potential routes that could be available. Firstly, the most famous example of high-speed rail is from Tokyo to Osaka. 150 million annual riders, an insane amount of people taking it, and there's 70 million people along the line that can ride the train. Firstly, and also, it's a cool thing in Japan. Everyone likes it.
True.
And it's 500 kilometers between the cities. Let's take a look. Well, first, let's have that train slide into view. Reverse into view, one might say. And let's take a look at a potential alternative line from Fort Vermilion to Fort Chipewyan. This is a line with potentially infinite ridership. There's no way to know for sure. There's 1,551 people between the two towns. A massive amount of people. We know how cool trains are in Japan, but imagine how cool they'll be in Alberta, the greatest country on earth.
So true. Country.
And it's only 275 kilometers between the towns.
To pounds.
All right, next slide. This is the route map. As you can see, it's a very good route, quite possibly the
It
greatest
goes
route.
through a lake.
Hey, let me finish. Are you the teacher?
My
The
bad,
class
my
is in
bad.
session. First, we start in the western portion of this line at the town of Fort Vermilion on the banks of the Peace River. We traverse the northern boreal forests, going through Wood Buffalo National Park until we finally cross Lake Claire over an elevated viaduct to finally reach our end destination.
What's the...
Yeah.
As you can see, the route will be traveled so fast you won't even realize you've been finished in a spin of yourself. That's an idiom.
You can spin it again.
We won't even notice the
Yeah.
lake. We'll just like.
Yeah, you'll just keep
You just go right. You go over the lake. You just go over the lake. It'll be so
You'll just
fast.
keep on spinning. Like, in the time that I've been spinning this image, you would have already gotten to your destination.
Yeah. This is the best train I've ever seen.
All right. The first phase is from Fort Vermilion to Wood Buffalo National Park. This is going to be a great phase. It's going to be very fast, very good. Well, hold on. It's going to be...
Click that.
Do you not have it?
Just it's going to be very fast. It's going to be very good
Oh, very good. Great.
and super cool.
Okay.
This is actually hype.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Yeah, that's how good it
That
is.
was actually.
You see, they combine together in that spin.
Yeah.
And it's going to be all these things, and it's going to be awesome. But you know what's going to be better? Give it a second.
The Lake Claire Bridge.
This is going to be such a great bridge. It's going to be a bridge across the lake to save travelers' times. And as I've mentioned before, it's going to be very good.
Does it come with the exclamation point?
Yes, it does.
Why is the middle one so thin?
Because for budget saving measures.
Okay.
Danielle Smith ran out of money.
Yes. All right. In summary, we should do this. Any questions?
I think you spelled do wrong.
Did I? Any questions?
I think you made a pretty good argument.
Yeah, that's-
Any questions?
No question.
I think somebody's bound to have a question at this point. I mean, it's spinning.
It's spinning faster and faster.
Oh!
All right, any questions?
No?
This is not a very engaged class.
Yeah.
This is the
What does Delbert Grady think of this proposal?
Where would you cut funding to fund?
Yeah, where would you get the funds to fund this?
Well, here's the thing. We would take out a small loan, and then from all the ticket sales that we generate, we'd pay back the construction over 5 years or so.
Okay.
From the infinite ridership.
Yeah.
That's projected.
Why did you choose these two places?
Because
It's a very high demand route.
in order to foster, because there's no direct road connection between the two towns.
Oh, that's okay.
This way, having the high-speed rail will become the only viable service between these two locations, so we'll have infinitely high demand.
Makes sense to me.
Anything else?
Nope.
So, do you all agree that we should do this?
Yes.
Of
yeah.
course.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And if you're wondering for like a costed estimate, I'd say it probably would cost at least $50.
At least.
Thank
Makes
you.
sense, yeah.
I'll fund it.
I'll bow. I'm bowing right now.
All right. So yeah, you'll have to cut out the whole interim thing
Yeah.
so it doesn't say my face. Okay, so I'm gonna be talking about free will and the concept of personhood insofar as it relates to free will. Then you can't see it because I blocked out everybody's personal information, but I'm gonna be talking a bit about how Ojibway relates to all of this. So
Okay.
who's the first name? Don't worry, he'll bleep it
My
out.
favorite Israeli.
You wouldn't get it.
My favorite Israeli politician.
So I'm just gonna be like kind of reading off a script.
Okay, real louder. Project. Use diagram.
So, Boethius, he's like a philosopher from like the late Roman period, and I think he's Christian. So anyway, he's a monotheist. And so he's kind of one of the major early philosophers who talks a bit about free will, because we kind of have a seeming contradiction, right? God has to be omniscient, but then we also have to be free, right? I mean, the Abrahamic religions seem clear that we have free will, and it seems like in order for God's rewards or punishments to be just, there has to be some kind of freedom, but that might infringe on God's omniscience. So Boethius tries to solve this by saying that God is eternal, meaning that he stands outside of time and witnesses all of creation at all times as kind of an eternal present. So you can think of God as being like someone who's at the top of the mountain watching like a procession of caravans at the bottom of the mountain. And if the procession of caravans represents the continuum of time, and each individual caravan represents a point in time, then the person at the top of the mountain is seeing all of the points of time as though they're happening in the present, right? So that's kind of how he sees it. And so this would be eternity, existing outside of time, as opposed to sempiternity, which would be the nature of, I guess, the universe, something which exists at all times, but not outside of time. Anyway. So in the present day, the focus shifts to be much less religious, but still kind of tries to answer the same questions. So now instead of talking about free will vis-a-vis divine omniscience, it's more so about physical determinism, right? So if a system's events at any point in time can be determined from a survey of its conditions at one point in time and knowledge of all the laws governing that system, then that seems to kind of call into question free will, right? So, like, theoretically, if we assume that the laws of the universe are constant across time, then it seems like a theory of everything combined with the conditions of the universe at the Big Bang could explain any of our decisions, right? So that's hence the question: should the Big Bang be blamed for our problems? These are screen caps from the Manchurian Candidate. I won't bother explaining why they're here. Additionally, in the modern age, neuroscience has greatly improved the prospects of reducing mental actions to biochemistry. And so this kind of further calls into question the concept of free will, because if physical, chemical changes can have monumental impacts on our decision-making, then what room is left for freedom, right? So we're in a different age, but it's still a very similar question to what Boethius was trying to grapple with. So now I'm going to talk about Harry Frankfurt's solution to this. He was a guy in like the 20th century. He wrote some stuff. And so he wrote this cool article called Freedom of the Will and the Concept of a Person. Right? So,
it's this one.
so he has some important terminology that I'm going to explain. So a first order desire is a straightforward desire. Just you want to do something, you do it. Okay. While a second order desire is a desire for a desire. So the will is the notion of an effective desire, as he says, which means that it's one which directly causes action or will or would if it could cause action, right? So like you can still will to run even if your legs are chained, right? It doesn't mean you're able to do it, but it means you either are able to do it or would do it if you could, right? That's basically what a will is. And now when a second order desire, so a desire for a desire, is a desire to have a certain will, then that's called a second order volition. So someone or something which is incapable of a second order volition is called a wanton. So for example, a cat probably could not really reflect on whether it should desire this or that, right? Or whether it should have this or that as a will. A person, on the other hand, is something or someone which is capable of second order volitions. Yes.
Are all people capable of second order volitions?
By his definition of person, yes. And so were a person hypothetically to not be capable, then they would seem to no longer be a person and would seem to instead be a wanton. Just purely hypothetically speaking.
Of course.
Only hypothetical.
Yeah. So freedom of the will for Frankfurt is defined as when the agent is free to have the will he wants. In other words, it does not necessarily entail freedom of action.
Raiders a want.
A
wonton.
You good?
Okay, yeah, I'm just trying to make sure I'm on the same slide. So, the right slide, I mean. So it doesn't necessarily entail freedom of action. So for example, the chained example, or to use another example, so he has this example in his article called The Three Addicts. I can only remember what two of the addicts are. So like imagine that it's the two addicts, right? So this just helps to illustrate what counts as free will and what doesn't, right? So we can imagine a drug addict who wants drugs and wants to be addicted to drugs. So wants drugs and wants to want drugs. This person has freedom of the will. Now we can imagine a second addict who is addicted, so wants drugs, but wants to not want drugs. And so this person would not have freedom of the will because, I lost my train of thought. What the heck?
Because he wants to.
Oh yeah, because there's no convergence of the second order volition with the will that actually is present, right? And so yeah, that's his solution basically, and we can see the argument here, right? Freedom of the will is the convergence of my will and my second order volition. So my will is what I want it to be, and the will and volition can converge in a determinist framework. Whether or not this was predetermined that I would want to will this is irrelevant to whether or not they can converge. And so, therefore, compatibilism, or the idea that free will and determinism are reconcilable, is true. So, but there's at the same time some ways that we might be able to call into question whether it's actually a sufficient solution, right? So, the biggest objection that I might have to Frankfurt is that it feels like he's kind of just moving the goalposts, changing the definition of free will to the point that it's something that obviously exists, when really maybe that's not what most people are talking about when they're talking about free will. When my script turned off. There's a bunch of other stuff. So free will, alternatively, we could say that free will seems to require the ability to have willed otherwise in a given situation. So, for example, all else equal in history leading up to Hitler, a libertarian person, so a person who believes in free will and not determinism, would say that Hitler could genuinely have willed not to invade Poland, even if everything prior to that in history had been the same, right? And so this seems to require that the agent be a first cause, kind of, so causally disconnected from anything that's come before, and that's not present in Frankfurt. But Frankfurt might say that that's not a reasonable thing to say. And there's a bunch of other stuff, etc., etc. I'm not going to talk about the table thing.
What sounds interesting? Do tables exist?
Basically, I was just going to say that, like, you know, you could think of free will as like a table, right? Like, yes, you can reduce the table into smaller parts that question whether the table actually exists. You know, you could say it's actually just a bunch of planks of wood arranged in a way, or it's actually just a bunch of atoms or corks or whatever. But, like, if the explanation of calling it a table is meant for us, then we can kind of just agree that it's a table, right? And so similarly, we could say that, like, if free will is obviously something that exists for us insofar as, like, everyday matters are concerned, then maybe it's okay to just redefine free will until it's something that obviously is true. Because, after all, the explanation is for our own usefulness. That's the table idea. Anyway, so obviously, you know, there's persons and wantons, right? So I want to call into question whether Ojibwe is actually a person, right?
Osama design.
So, like, I mean, we, you know, we could probably list all day. You know, one time when he slapped a certain person in grade 9 for no reason whatsoever, his extreme ogling, his intended emotional manipulation, which doesn't happen, and so on. And so the question is, does he really have second order volitions? Like, does he really reflect on whether he should or shouldn't want the things that he wants, whether he should or shouldn't have the wills he wants? And then also, I mean, wanton kind of sounds like wonton, and he's Chinese, right? So I'd like to open this up to discussion. What do we think? Is he a person or a wanton?
I think you get a very
I
compelling
think
argument.
Bismarck is also one.
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna say he's a wanton. Yeah.
I think
he's
I
definitely
think
a
it is very
wanton.
likely that Ojibwe is.
I would
wanton.
propose that Ojibwe come to the stand and say any second order volitions that he may have.
Yeah. What's name one second order division you have? Exactly. Checkmate. Look at that.
I feel like that's a succinct answer.
Yeah, I think
the
that
question.
clears the case.
I think the case is settled.
Let me get
Yeah.
started. Yeah, I think that's good.
Wonton, you are.
Yeah, I think you should be wanton now instead of Ojibwe.
This guy, like, committing domestic abuse, like, I know it's supposed to be, like, I searched up domestic abuse stock photos, so it is, like, domestic abuse, but it's just meant to represent him slapping that girl in school. So it's, like, more of a school abuse setting, but I used a domestic abuse photo.
Scholar
So
abuse.
true.
What?
Scholar abuse.
Yes, it is sort of scholar abuse, I suppose. Now, I mean, I guess that's all for my presentation. Do we have any questions about, or like comments about, to what extent Boethius or Frankfurt actually puts up a compelling case for compatibilism, or? Okay, yes.
I feel like I sort of agree with you in the fact that Frankfurt sort of just like moved the goalposts into an easier to answer question and then answered that flawlessly.
Yeah. That's kind of what I said as well in my paper that I basically copy pasted to make this presentation that I wrote in December. That it seems like he's just changing the definition. Anybody else?
Okay. I'm thinking. So. I'm trying to think. I'm tying it back to Ojibwe.
Yeah.
Because I do think he has some second order.
Okay,
Yeah.
but we don't know what
Yeah.
second order design is.
I have to list names here though, so it's kind of.
You just
You can bleep it.
yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah. It's. Like I'm thinking like I think in some ways like, he's acting against his will, at times. Like he wants to be with someone, right? But he's almost not doing it like by his choice.
Do you think he wants to be with someone, or does he just want the chase?
He wants to
I
chase.
think I like
But does
the
that make it a
adventure,
second order
like the
volition then?
pursuit,
If you, even
like
if
the
it is a
journey.
chase?
Yeah, but
It's
chase
not
is like
the
the that's the
not
design.
the
That's the first order.
The
destination.
desire is the chase.
Yeah.
Desire
It's a
is not
first
the
order
cause.
desire though.
But if he's going against that, wouldn't that make it?
But
a
he's
second
not
order?
going
If
against
he
that.
wants to have something else as his will.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
I guess that's my little.
But does he want that?
I don't know.
But he does. That's the
I
thing.
think he just wants money for the purpose of money. He wants women for the purpose of women. He
The
just
question is what he wants to have as his will, right? If
Yeah.
he's just capable
We're gonna answer the
of
question.
reflecting on what
Like
he
I'm
wants to
not
have as
saying
his
like
will.
it's
Depends
like the
who.
base design. I'm saying for the person.
I
Let's
don't
say.
know.
Like it's not necessarily like, for example, the original, I guess, would be the first order would be the original person. But if he purposely doesn't want to necessarily be with this person anymore, does that turn it into a second order?
Here's an
Sorry,
interesting.
can you repeat it?
I don't know. I'm
Here's an
trying to
interesting question for you, Ojibway. Are you saved by your works, or are you saved by grace?
I am saved by the work.
Oh,
Okay, well that's
a good answer.
Interesting
Well, that's
answer.
something.
Okay.
But anyways,
Anyway,
let's
we're
go.
live
Alright.
now.
We're going over top 10 countries.
Okay.
Okay.
It's there's 10 of them, as you can see. We're gonna go over some of the best. It's not an exhaustive list, but it's pretty good. Number one, number 10. We got Turkmenistan. You know, capital is Ashgabat, and I got a couple of reasons there. It's got excellent human rights. The leader of their country for quite a long
Bismarck.
time.
Adjourned. I must ask, why are you laughing about the excellent human rights of
Oh.
Turkmenistan?
Because I think it's good, right? It's good.
Then why are you laughing?
Because I'm happy. So it's like the good I had for them. It's good.
The leader of their country, I do not remember, nor would I be able to pronounce his name, but he was known affectionately by the people as Turkmenbasi for a very long time until he died in office. It was very sad, the thing that happened, but he was the leader of the Turkmens. Akin to how Kim Il Sung was the dear leader of the North Korean people.
Yeah.
But obviously Sardar Brayden is the current president of Turkmenistan, and I think it's a pretty cool name. So there you go, Turkmenistan. We got number 10. Number 9. Okay, so we got click to add text. We have South Africa, one of the countries of all time, and then we got some raisins for them. Number 1, Elon Musk.
This is
very-
bad timing.
Very, very beloved individual
yeah.
from many people. Many people love Elon Musk, and
Yeah.
he's from this country. We
Everyone's
also
favorite politician.
Everyone loves that. Man.
they're number 1 for wealth equality. They're the most
Oh, yeah.
equal country in the world. Tesla, Elon Musk, just saying, and they have a very transparent and non-corrupt government, and the government hasn't been reelected 30 times.
I have a question.
Mhm.
If we could all pay our attention to the map, might I ask why Namibia?
Yeah, why is
highlighted in
Namibia?
green?
Why is Namibia?
It happens to be an old map, back when it
Okay.
was this and not this.
The Orange State.
Well, not necessarily. The Orange State was one part of the country. Okay, so that's our number 9. We got number 7, the United States of America. You know, it was a good country. It lasted for 255 years. Very sad what happened to it in the end. You know, it had a lot of burgers. It had a lot of freedom as well. But there's a civil war, and I don't know. J.D. Vance, Joe Biden.
What happened in 2031?
Yeah, what's going on?
demise?
What happened in 2031?
Something happened with this guy. I don't know. He shook the wrong person's
You mean
hand. And then
JD Vance.
J.D. Vance, yeah. I don't know. He shook the wrong person's hand, and America just decided to call it a day. And I don't know. It was very, very sad what happened. But you know, they had a lot of good burgers, and they were known for their freedom. But you know, the country just after 255 years decided, yeah, it was it. And,
I'd like to quickly point to the fact that we actually have a picture of Colonel Biden up here in honor of him. Big America.
Number 6, we got Bougainville. Now, it was the world's newest independent country for 2 hours in the year 2027. Alberta decided to leave Canada roughly 2 hours after this guy became independent. So you know, it is 2027 onward. And if you're naming it, could be Burgerville, because you know,
Oh, yeah.
we love burgers here. It's pretty based, and it's got a pretty cool flag. Like, come on, come on, Bougainville. We love Bougainville. Anyways, number 5, Alberta Free State. Lasted for quite a few time. Not that long. It was formed when Darth Carney decided no more oil, and so Alberta decided, you know, it'd be really funny if we left. And as you can see, our glorious leaders, Jason Kenney and.
I am worried
King Charles
for the next 4 countries.
There's also lots of burgers here. And there's this place called Alder Flats. If you know about Alder Flats, you know about Alder Flats. So I'll say about that. But there's a beautiful flag. Lasted for maybe a couple days, and then decided to unite with Saskatchewan. Number 3. Now, number three is one of my personal favorites. It's got a lot going for it. Like, it's got a good capital. I mean, got very, very good human rights, and it's just really got a lot going for it.
I have a question. What's number 3's stance on the war in Gaza?
Oh, okay.
No.
Number 3 is neutral. They don't recognize either country.
Oh, okay. It's sort of like Burma then. No, it's sort of like the name is slipping me.
There's a country that doesn't
Mountain
recognize
country
either China.
adjacent to India, not Nepal.
Bhutan?
Bhutan, yes, Bhutan.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, number 3, doesn't recognize either country in the conflicts. But number 3, everybody likes number 3. Number 3 is one of the best.
Of course.
Honorable mention. Number 2, we have the Commonwealth of Western Canada. Okay, best World Leader Award. This is, if you trusted the plan, you get the Trusted the Plan Award. There's a lot of land. There's 11 provinces, 4 territories. Wasn't named. British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Alaska,
map.
and it's also got.
Is Utah included in this confederation? or
Utah has not been included in this.
Is that an
Commonwealth.
original flag?
Is this an original flag?
Yes.
Did you make this?
I did not make this. This is so in the 80s. Some guy decided that they wanted this flag. And we've got Yukon, Northwest Territories. Nunavut is our internal territories. We've got Greenland is our external territories. You can see the massive line on the map.
Is that the North Star on the map or the flag?
Yeah, well, it's like
Why is there one mountain?
One mountain?
Why is there only one mountain?
The Rocky Mountains.
The Rocky Mountain.
The Rocky Mountain.
The Rocky Mountain. Yeah, sorry, the Rocky Mountain.
Well, I mean, if you view it from like a northern angle, one can imagine that all the mountains are concealed behind this one
It's
mountain.
just one big triangle.
I mean, like, look, you got one mountain here that goes all the way down like this area, and then it's good. Like, there's this place called Riding Mountain.
I would suggest that whenever you point at something
Yeah,
on the screen, you indicate where that is with audio cues.
The one mountain, the Great Divide. We might have to readjust that British Columbia Alberta border to make it more accurate to
What happens to Hawaii?
What happens to Hawaii? Hawaii is its own country. Hawaii is a good ally of the Commonwealth.
Okay.
Hawaii is also another Commonwealth. And there's a bunch of other countries like the Pacific states over here. Ontario, we don't like Ontario. The Midwestern states, and there's another country to our south that there's a little conflict with, may or may not have some various consequences. But Commonwealth, Western Canada, great country. There's a lot of oil. There's Alberta. Alberta's in it. We love Alberta, biggest province.
Oh yeah.
And it's the world's number one bread supplier.
You talk like Trump. You talk like Trump. You're like,
It has so much bread. Okay, like, do you see how much bread you can fit in this thing? You've got North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Montana, Alberta, Saskatchewan. You know how much bread is produced in Saskatchewan? Manitoba. It's quite a bit.
This
there.
makes me so curious what one is.
And Idaho.
Azerbaijan.
Idaho. There's so much.
What should be Utah?
So much bread in Idaho, and there's lots of burgers here too. Like, come on, like, look, this is burger capital right here. Commonwealth of Western Canada, one of the best world leaders, if not the best. But this pales in comparison to number 1.
Azerbaijan.
oh!
Number 1 is Quebec, and I've got a couple reasons, and it just speaks for itself. Like, come on, it's a glorious country. Obviously, like, do you see this? Do you see this country?
Mm-hmm.
They speak French. That's their only identity.
Je ne parle en français.
Who is the leader of the Republic of Quebec? Is it Yves-François Blanchet or Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon?
It is Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon, but we have to recognize Yves-François Blanchet for his contributions toward making the République du Québec independent country, as he is prominently featured twice, and with his signature stance in the middle there.
It's like A posing.
So yes, this
stance.
is the number 1 country in the world. Nothing beats the République du Québec. Anyways, that is the presentation. Any questions?
Yeah. Where's Azerbaijan?
I'm not going to comment on Azerbaijan.
That makes it sound worse. That makes it sound way
No-
worse.
no comments. Anything?
I'd say it's quite wise that one ought not to comment on countries outside of their top 10 lists.
I mean, you don't know where it could be. It could be 11 to 193. So
Wait, so you don't recognize like? Okay, never mind. No, never mind.
actually, let's say 195.
Okay, there we go.
I recognize Vatican City and Taiwan along with the other.
You're not going to recognize the upcoming Bektashi state?
Oh, I mean, also I forgot Bougainville. Is
Yeah, also Bougainville. Yeah.
And all the other countries split off from the U.S. after the
What about
terrible
Quebec,
things that
too?
J.D. Vance did.
We clear
Of course, Quebec. And
It's the best country.
it's the best.
It's the best.
It's number one. But yes, hopefully it didn't cause too much controversy.
It's gonna be painful to edit.
Especially with a certain country.
I think that's it.
That covers it.
Really?
That is all.
Nothing else? Nothing about the Western Canadian economy? How does it, like, produce
No.
Bread.
bread?
I mean, obviously they seized the means of bread.
Wait, I do have a question. Is the Republic of Western Canada's currency Canadian Tire money?
It is, actually. Canadian Tire money. Very good. Anyways, next.
Is it
It's really good. Yes, go. Yeah.
okay? So this is Ojibway. I'm gonna be presenting which animals can the group beat in a mixed martial arts fight.
Might
So-
I ask whom the group is?
It's me, Ojibway,
C Money.
C Money, Delbert Grady, Bismarck, the Rio Garbrader, and Mike. Right.
All right.
So we have
Not
a
the
quad-
right honorable carburetor.
I
It
don't-
is the right honor.
I don't care. I don't care.
The right honor.
So, considering all of our talents, that's the criteria for this.
oh boy.
So first we have a coyote. I think we have 100% chance of beating it because it's small, it's scrawny, it's kind of ugly. Like, I don't think it would take the whole group. I think just one of us
I have a
can
question.
stomp this thing.
Yeah.
How exactly does its ugliness or attractiveness
Yeah. How does
impact our
how
ability
does
to
the
defeat it
appearance
in a
make
fight?
it weaker in combat?
Well, like, it has less aura.
Yeah, it's lower on the Great Chain of Being.
Yeah.
That's
It's
very
realistically, it just takes one of us to stomp this little
Yeah.
thing.
It's true.
So.
Very small.
Next we have a kangaroo, which
Ooh.
I also think we could definitely beat it. I think maybe take 2 people at most. That's it.
They can hit hard.
I mean, they.
I
can-
feel like-
They're
I
pretty
know,
strong,
I know,
though,
but like
I feel like
we
if
just it just takes one person to grab it, the
Mhm.
other person just strike it a few
I mean, they
times.
can
You know?
stomp though. They're very
I
good
mean,
stompers.
Have you
yeah.
seen them stand on their tail and kick?
My thoughts are
Yeah.
is that if we all rush it at once, one of us is gonna get severely knocked out.
Disfigured.
One will be cannon fodder. One will be cannon fodder. We
But
just
we'll definitely be able to take him down for sure.
Yeah.
So I think well, 3 of us could definitely beat it. Just two of us grab it, and the other one just starts hitting it
Yeah.
for sure.
I think that's reasonable.
I think it'd take the whole group. I'm gonna be honest.
No,
Just
no,
gonna
no
take
way.
it.
maybe
A
both
kangaroo-
most
I
of the
think
group. Maybe
I
most
think
of the
with
group.
proper organization it can be done with 3.
Yeah.
But with
With us.
adequate organization it can be done with the group.
Yeah, we win, but it's like
Yeah, it's tough though. It's gonna be a
Yes.
tough fight.
all right.
So next we have a Canada goose.
Okay, yeah.
I think also we could definitely beat it for sure. It's pretty small. I know it's very violent. It has a strong spirit. Like it shows size doesn't matter. It's what it has the heart of a lion. And also that can be said about other things as well. Like size isn't always everything, but still, like even though it's fierce, it has a good fighting spirit. I think just one person probably beat it. Just like stomp it a few times.
So it's a bit bigger than 1.8 inches, right? Just a little bit.
Next slide, please.
So I guess size does matter to some extent if one of us
No,
can
it's-
beat it.
Okay.
Can we beat it because we're bigger than it?
Yeah, of course. That's what I said. Just one
So
person.
then size does matter.
No, I'm saying like in terms of spirit, because you know
Yeah.
how fierce
I'm
it is. It
pretty
never
big,
backs down.
I'm pretty big. I think. Ojibway. I think I take it by myself.
So next we have a gray wolf, which is just a bigger, scarier coyote. So instead of 100% confidence, I think it's 98%. So we could definitely beat it for sure, but there's a chance we might not. Just depends. But still, as I said, it's just a bigger, scarier coyote. instead of one person, it takes, say, at least two. And yeah.
How exactly would the 2% unfold where we lose?
Yeah, how would that?
I think like if we just have really bad organization, for sure. But we're talking about a single gray wolf, not a pack. If it's a pack, we're definitely screwed.
But I can imagine that like even like 1-on-1.
One-on-one, we don't stand much of a chance.
Well, like a gray wolf's pretty big.
Yeah, they're
it's
pretty
it's
big.
big. So I'm saying it takes at least two.
With the
But-
whole group, how many people do you think would end up getting maimed?
At least one.
Yeah,
I'd say-
at least
I'd
one.
estimate 2.
I'd say
Yeah, I said two.
it's either just, like almost the injuries are almost like spread out, or one person just gets all
You
of
get
it.
sick and
Yeah.
demolished.
And also it's pretty scrawny too, just like a coyote. But yeah. So next we have a pit bull. So I think with the group we have a good chance. Let's give it 85%. So it's not very scrawny. It's muscular. It's big. It's fierce. It bites pretty hard. But I'm saying like maybe 4 of us could definitely beat it. And yeah, like and also look at how big its neck is. You could just choke it out. Just no.
Would that make it harder to show it was bigger?
No, like look how long the neck is.
Have you ever seen Gladiator 2?
No.
But yeah.
There's a scene where they choke out like a giant baboon.
Oh, right, yeah, I see. Okay, yeah, yeah.
Wait, so are pit bulls more dangerous than wolves?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
For sure, because they bite harder.
And they're also more aggressive.
Yeah.
Because they've been bred for aggressivity.
Like
Yeah.
the wolves, like if you don't go in their territory, they'll probably
Maybe
have
not
it.
for
Like,
long.
and also,
though. They
you
got
know,
dire
Like
wolves
these
now.
guys just
Yeah.
like
Those are
You know,
they're
the-
not real.
Pit bulls
They're
are
not real.
responsible
They
for the
geneted a
most
few gray
casualties
bulls.
out of any dog breed, so they're just inherently violent, which makes them harder to fight against, like rather than a
That guy's
wolf.
ripped. That guy's ripped. That guy's also just
I know.
ripped.
Yeah. So next we have an alligator. I think we have a 75% chance if it's on land. If it's in water,
we're done.
Yeah, we're
But
done for. There's
I'm
no
saying,
shot
like,
winning.
on
this.
land, it's pretty slow. It's just crawling around, just stomp it a few times. But if it gets hold of any one of us, that person's gone for sure. So even though we'll probably beat it, there's gonna be
One casualty.
a casualty for sure. At least one casualty. But yeah, just make sure it doesn't grab you. Just start stomping
But I
its
mean-
face.
I've seen some sources, some academic sources where Floridian men just hold down the jaws of the alligator and they're incapable
not-
of breaking
yeah.
free.
Florida men though, we're Canadian
Yeah,
men.
no, we're not.
very, very strong bite strength, but very weak jaw opening strength. So if one person just like gets on its back or something, it's done for. You know, it can't
Or
even
maybe you
access
get some duct tape,
Yeah.
wrap around it.
I'm assuming it's just us, like as we are now, I guess, right? Fighting it.
Yeah,
two
it's
wolves.
just us.
Yeah.
Okay, so next we have an orangutan.
That's interesting.
So I give it a 60% chance. Even though it's pretty big, it's pretty slow. Like compared to other apes. And also orangutans are known for being peaceful. They're
Yeah.
not really fighters. But yeah, I'd say 60% chance because it takes definitely more than one person. There could be some casualties. They're strong, they're pretty big. But yeah, like if we all just attack it in different ways.
I almost feel bad for hurting orangutan.
I know. It's so peaceful and calm, but I'm just saying, it doesn't stand it much of a chance.
Do you think that orangutans have second order will?
I wonder. I doubt it, but perhaps.
Okay. So next we have a chimpanzee.
Yeah.
I give it 50-50 just because, okay, well, it's a lot smaller than an orangutan, but it's also very violent. It's faster. It's more skilled.
It's like,
And
Give me a
it's,
Ojibway.
oh yes, like a Ojibway.
and it's just like is big teeth, which is another factor, and they're very agile. They can climb stuff, so they'd be hard to like chase down if it wants to like
But-
use the
My question is, where are we fighting all these creatures?
in a cage. It's a
Like an
mixed martial
octagon?
arts fight.
Oh, like an actual okay.
Yeah, so if it's just like climbing around, it'd be pretty hard to beat.
Oh,
But considering like they're pretty small,
Yeah.
so if we all attack it, I think we could beat it for sure. But definitely not a 1-on-1. It would take at least 3 people. I'm saying, but yeah, there's probably gonna be at least one casualty, for sure. Just look at this thing.
Not all of you
How
will live.
jacked it is.
But also, a casualty doesn't suggest death. It just means
I
you're
guess
taking
you're
out of
out of
combat.
the combat.
Yeah,
Might just bite off your face, you know.
I know. But then,
Who needs
like,
a face
if one
anyways?
person's taking all the damage, the other person can just like beat it up. But yeah. So next we have a moose. I give it a 25% chance because it's very big. However, they're not really known for being that violent.
Honestly, I'm gonna disagree. I don't think we can beat a moose at all.
Yeah, honestly,
No, but think of the space.
we don't have the damage.
It's
output.
trapped. It's trapped
It is
in
more
a
trapped.
Yeah, but like
in a small space. So I guess
any
you
one of us is just gonna get kicked
Yeah,
and
like,
then
we don't have the damage
immobilized.
output to even if it was like standing still, we couldn't like do any damage.
I think
to it.
max most one would be left standing.
If like
Yeah.
if one or two people can mount it though, then like it
I
can
don't
try to
know.
buck us off.
I don't think
but,
you can.
like,
They're
yeah.
tall.
They're so
Yeah,
tall. They're
I
like
you also just gotta use like dirty tactics.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
some low
if we
blows.
can like they have spindly legs, so if we can find a way to hit hard enough, to
Ooh,
get
like
past
the
it,
1880s,
like,
like Star
Legs,
Wars, like Star Wars,
yeah,
like
super
super
strong.
yeah.
Are you guys citing Star Wars trying to attack an animal?
I feel like it could just go like this towards us. Since we're in a cage, we're backed up. It go like this and like just
Yeah,
hit
like
us
one
with the
horn for
horns.
each of us. Like one horn for each of us. You know.
So last of all, we have a gorilla, so
No.
we're cooked.
No way.
No chance.
Yeah, we're cooking.
And also considering like the environment, we're all in this small cage. Like
Mhm.
there's no chance like how big this thing is. We're all gonna die.
Yeah.
And you know how like they're talking about 100 men versus a gorilla.
Yeah.
I think just
That's a meme though. That's
just the 6 of us. There's no chance at all.
Yeah.
But have you
yeah.
considered that we might be more powerful than 100 men?
There's no chance.
With a mind.
Yeah. There's no way we would beat a gorilla, especially in a cage. So, yeah. But so these are like the 10 animals I picked and how likely we are to beat it in a fight. And if you have any disagreements,
King of Corona is
Alright.
Okay.
Where's Corona?
You'll find out very soon. Hey guys, what's up? So here I'm here to talk about why the Kingdom of Corona is on the verge of economic, social, and political collapse. By me, Bismarck.
Okay.
You're causing the collapse, or it's the presentation?
No, the presentation is about the collapse. So Corona is an absolute monarchy. It's from the movie Tangled.
Okay.
Rapunzel, you know.
Okay.
So there's a spin-off TV show actually, and you can see in the bottom left picture, it's actually in France. They have a king called King Herbst de Zona, which is a German name, obviously. And Corona is Italian. The name is Italian. So I don't know why they're in France. But it's an island nation. It's surrounded by water, but it's in France, as you can see here. And it looks like the map here, where this is all water on the outside, and this is the land here. And there's only one bridge connecting it to the thing. So,
It's geographically confusing.
yeah, the story of Rapunzel. So the story of Tangled, right, is Rapunzel is born, and she's given this, and she's born because so there was a king and a queen of Corona. The queen got really sick, but she was pregnant, so they gave her this magic flower to heal her, and that transferred the magic properties of the flower to the baby, which was Rapunzel, and that made her immortal. So this evil witch locked her up to use her hair as life. So she didn't cut it, that's why it's so long. But it was rescued by this guy called Flynn, and he returns to the kingdom, and they live happily ever after. She finds out she's a princess, and they're all happy, right? So the first problem for why the Corona is under collapse is a lack of competent authority. These are the royal guards of the country. They act as the military service, but also the police service. And they are utterly incompetent. They cannot fend off just normal bandits. They can't do anything. They're utterly useless. They're using crossbows and lances here. And the only horse they have that's actually worth anything is the white one right here. He's riding. This guy's also an idiot. He's really dumb. If you watch the movie, he's really dumb. So obviously we know that a lack of authority means people are just gonna do dumb things.
Mhm.
People are gonna do. It's not gonna be good for the country.
So Britain's gonna cream them the next time they invade.
That's true. Yeah. Second problem is terrible geography. Obviously, why on earth do you have one bridge leading off your island into the rest of the world? I don't understand why they. I don't understand this at all. And if you look at a map of the city, you can see that a quarter of the island is the citadel, which is the palace. Yes, see money.
Is the one bridge connection to the outside world not actually a genius strategic strategy
No,
in
it's-
order to fend off any invaders?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, right? They have no farms. It's all housing. It's just all houses. That's all it is. It's just houses. They have no farms, no industrial buildings, no nothing.
What about
They-
navy and
they-
portside stuff?
Actually, they have ports, but we never see ships ever being used.
Okay.
We never see ships ever being used. We only see people walking to and from through the bridge. But there's nothing else around it. It's just forest. So there's no one living there. So it makes no sense. No one, I don't know why it's coming. So obviously there's no imports. No exports coming. They have no economic. They have nothing to give the world. Nothing to buy from the world either.
Easiest naval blockade in history.
Yeah, it is. Third problem is social and political turmoil. So the king obviously lost his one daughter, and he just moped around for years, sending lanterns in the sky. Like, what kind of king does that, right? He also never uses the immortal flower to protect his people, right? Like, you could have an immortal army of soldiers. Why aren't you doing that, right? Also, their ships have cannons on them, but their policemen use crossbows and spears. They don't ever use gunpowder. Their government is reactionary because, like, why are they not progressing? Why are they not advancing? You know, technology doesn't make any sense. They're also ultra nationalistic because they have their flag. This is their flag, by the way. It's posted like literally everywhere. Not even like North Korea has their flag posted like all across the streets like this. No other country does this. They're like the most nationalist people. Like, they're more nationalist than Turks, right?
Azerbaijan.
Also, they have the death penalty because they sentenced Flynn Rider too. So that's obviously a symptom of a very bad country. Yeah. There's no authority accountability. Obviously, as a monarchy, right? There's no accountability, so there's going to be corruption in the state, obviously, right? There's no education, medical, or city facilities, nothing. So if there's a fire, everything's gone, right? They're isolationists because they have one bridge. They never trade anywhere, and they're out in the middle of nowhere. They have, well, obviously a terrible king, and they're very culture diverse, right? Because in the land of Corona, we see there's like Vikings, there's Irish people, there's British people, and obviously there's Italians, Germans, and everyone. So I don't know. So it doesn't make any sense, right?
With the diversity as a problem?
Yes, it's a problem. Yes, it's a problem because clearly the king can't manage it. Economic insecurity. So obviously, as I said before, they have no land because it's all houses. See, it's like all houses and forests. They got no land for farming, and half of it is just one big castle. You can see at the top of the mountain here, it's just one big castle. Obviously, the population seems pretty happy, but without food, they're probably gonna be unhappy soon. Yeah, so this makes no sense, right? Like, are they a monarchy? So everyone seems happy, so they're just brainwashing the people, or they have really little tax. That's the only explanation why they're
Have you not considered that
rebelling.
maybe a monarchy is the ideal solution for
I have
governance?
not, and I will not be considering that at all.
Woke.
So we know. So what does this mean? What does this mean, guys? What does this mean?
It's going to collapse.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, because
I see.
ultra nationalism combined with a weak economy, we know what this leads to in history. We know what happens.
Or maybe we just need to rethink our historical framing.
No.
Because
no,
Corona has been
Elect
proven to be
the
such a
right
success in
honorable
spite of all these
Rio
theoretical
Barbary.
No. So this is the real equation right here. This is how we calculate the future, obviously, and that's what Corona's going through right now, right? There is also a second theory, though, I thought of in the shower while I was after I made the presentation, that maybe the reason why they're so happy is because they're not starving, because they're using the flower, the immortal flower, to actually feed their people. So we can probably prepare for an eventual Corona takeover. Thousands upon thousands of Coronan soldiers.
So true.
Coronan soldiers, immortal Coronan soldiers using crossbows to attack the rest of the world.
What just happened?
I'm not sure. Maybe you should ask C Money.
Like, what was that sound? Like it was like a crackling sound, or
It sounds like something is about to collapse.
Someone launched a little bullet.
oh, did he?
Where?
So here.
Over there.
Oh,
Still here.
okay. You gotta find that.
It's the
I
red.
think it went behind the TV.
Not the red. You just finished the
It might.
presentation.
I actually don't. I heard it go over there. But I guess let's go finish the presentation.
Well, that's it. That's all I have.
Okay, well, if I may rebut your position that it's shortly going to fall into fascism. So, Weimar Germany was actually like one of the most democratic states ever, right? It was like extreme freedom, extreme power to the people, and that's so it was the erosion of that system rather than an eroding absolute monarchy that led to Nazism. And then additionally, there's ultranationalism, but it's a strange sort of ultranationalism that accepts cultural diversity, right?
Well,
And
I don't
so
think they.
I feel like that's a bit foreign to the.
Actually, I don't think they
that.
do, because all the bad guys are Vikings.
Oh.
Yeah, and all the people who live outside the city walls are like Irish and Vikings, and like so.
And furthermore, the death penalty, while unpalatable, has been seen to create very, shall we say, very orderly societies, as for example in Singapore, with heavy penalties for drug traffickers.
Is Is there a death penalty?
I believe so. For certain
For chewing gum.
for certain amounts of mass of drugs being smuggled.
I'm gonna say no. You're wrong, and I'm gonna say I'm correct.
We want to like support that with evidence.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's his presentation.
Yeah, come on,
Yeah.
man. Anyway, that's it. Oh, thank you.
All right.
There we are.
Where are you going?
I'm cold.
I'm also cold. So is this it?
Hi,
This
cold
is the
and
end.
That's it. Yeah, that's the end of the podcast.
Enjoy the editing.
I will. Thank you. I'm doing it later though, because see money, please. Audio test a little bit.
Hello.
Okay, I want to scooch.
There's no other.
Ojibway,
There's no other stage.
Hello?
That is
Hello?
Israel.
Audio test.
you're quiet. You should
Very
really
quiet.
You're
You
too
should
quiet and
allow-
nonchalant.
Grady. Okay, that's good enough.